In 1953, the Central Intelligence Agency launched a secret program with one goal: control the human mind. It was called MKUltra. Using LSD, hypnosis, and extreme psychological experiments, they tested techniques designed to break and rebuild human consciousness. Many of the subjects had no idea they were part of a government operation. This wasn't science fiction. This was Cold War America, and it was happening in secret. MKUltra's chief chemist, Sidney Gottlieb, became obsessed with LSD. He believed the drug could shatter the mind and make it vulnerable to suggestion. The CIA quietly purchased massive quantities and distributed it across experiments nationwide. Civilians, prisoners, mental health patients, even CIA employees were dosed, often without consent. The long-term psychological damage was rarely documented. Frank Olson attended a CIA retreat in 1953. During the meeting, he was secretly given LSD without his knowledge. In the days that followed, his mental state reportedly deteriorated rapidly. Just 9 days later, he fell from a hotel window in New York City. His death was ruled a suicide, but decades later, questions resurfaced that still linger today. MKUltra wasn't a single study. It was 149 sub-projects spread across the country and even internationally. They involved universities, hospitals, prisons, and research institutions. Many researchers didn't even know CIA funding was behind their grants. The scale of secrecy was staggering. After American prisoners of war in Korea reportedly confessed to communist propaganda, U.S. officials feared brainwashing techniques were real. CIA Director Allen Dulles warned that the U.S. was falling behind in psychological warfare. The pressure to compete with the Soviet Union fueled extreme experimentation. MKUltra was born from paranoia and the fear of losing control. Psychiatrist Donald Ewan Cameron believed he could erase and reconstruct personalities. Patients were placed in drug-induced comas and subjected to repeated audio messages for days or weeks. Massive electroshock treatments were used far beyond standard medical practice. Many patients left with memory loss and permanent trauma. Under one sub-project, CIA operatives set up safe houses where unsuspecting individuals were given LSD. Agents observed reactions behind two-way mirrors, taking detailed notes. The goal was to see how people behaved under the influence without knowing they were drugged. Ethical boundaries were ignored in the name of research. In 1973, as public scrutiny increased, CIA leadership ordered the destruction of MKUltra records. Thousands of files were shredded or burned. The official explanation was administrative cleanup, but the timing raised serious suspicions. Much of the truth vanished with those documents. In 1975, the United States Senate began investigating intelligence agency abuses. What emerged stunned lawmakers and the public alike. Testimonies revealed illegal experiments conducted on American citizens. It became one of the most controversial intelligence scandals in U.S. history. Officially, MKUltra aimed to improve interrogation and counterintelligence techniques. But internal memos hinted at ambitions far beyond that. Researchers explored memory erasure, personality fragmentation, and behavior modification. The line between defense and manipulation blurred quickly. Inmates were recruited with promises of reduced sentences or financial incentives. Some endured repeated LSD dosing over extended periods. Others underwent psychological stress experiments. Consent forms were vague and the risks were rarely explained fully. Prestigious universities received CIA funds through front organizations. Research projects appeared legitimate on the surface. Behind the scenes, data was being funneled into MKUltra objectives. The connection to intelligence operations was often concealed from faculty and administrators. One sub-project, later known as Operation Midnight Climax, involved CIA-run safe houses in major cities. Subjects were unknowingly drugged and observed. Agents documented how the drug affected behavior and suggestibility. It was covert surveillance mixed with experimental psychology. Sidney Gottlieb appeared quiet and unassuming in public life, but internally, he approved extreme experimental protocols. He believed the mind could be dismantled chemically. His work shaped the most controversial aspects of MKUltra. Documents suggest MKUltra sought tools for extracting information, controlling behavior, and potentially influencing foreign leaders. Some proposals were speculative, others actively tested. The full scope of what was achieved remains unclear. Years later, certain victims or their families received financial settlements. The U.S. government publicly acknowledged aspects of the program, but for many, accountability felt incomplete. Countless subjects were never identified. As whispers of MKUltra resurfaced, the government's attempts to obliterate any trace of its existence intensified. Secret meetings were held in dimly lit rooms, where officials discussed the necessity of erasing records that could expose their darkest experiments. Yet, amidst the chaos of destruction, some documents slipped through the cracks. Files hidden in obscure corners of archives, or misfiled under innocuous names. These remnants hinted at a broader conspiracy, revealing that the government had not only sought to erase evidence of mind control, but also to suppress knowledge of other clandestine projects. What remained secret? Perhaps files on the psychological effects of these experiments on unwitting subjects, or details of collaborations with academia that could implicate respected institutions. The deeper one delves into the shadows, the more questions arise. What other truths lie buried, waiting for the light of day? As investigators piece together the fragments, the chilling realization dawns that the government's efforts to erase its past may have only deepened the enigma surrounding MKUltra and its lingering influence on society. As we delve deeper into the implications of MKUltra, one can't help but wonder, is this program truly a relic of the past? Or do similar experiments linger in the shadows of our modern society? The chilling reality is that the government has often operated under a veil of secrecy, leading many to speculate about what other covert operations might be unfolding right under our noses. Are there new initiatives, perhaps under the guise of public health or national security, that continue to test the limits of ethics? As we navigate this murky terrain, we invite you to ponder, do you believe these programs have ceased, or are they merely evolving? What else might be happening without our knowledge, and how can we, as a society, ensure that our rights and freedoms are not being compromised in the name of experimentation? The ramifications of MKUltra extended far beyond the confines of clandestine laboratories. As the public began to uncover the truth, a wave of skepticism towards government institutions surged. This skepticism was not merely a reaction to the revelations of unethical experimentation. It also illuminated a broader distrust in the narratives presented by those in power. Documentaries and investigative journalism sought to piece together the fragmented history of MKUltra, revealing not just the horrors of mind control experiments, but also the ethical dilemmas surrounding consent and human rights. The chilling accounts of individuals who were subjected to these experiments served as a haunting reminder of the potential for abuse within authoritative systems. Furthermore, the legacy of MKUltra inspired a generation of activists and whistleblowers, igniting discussions about transparency, accountability, and the need for rigorous ethical standards in research. As society grappled with the implications of such dark chapters in history, MKUltra became a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the fragility of civil liberties in the name of national security. The legacy of MKUltra serves as both a cautionary tale and a catalyst for change, reminding us that the pursuit of security must be balanced with the preservation of human rights and dignity. However, whispers of its legacy linger in the shadows, as many speculate whether remnants of the program have evolved rather than disappeared. In recent years, there have been increasing reports of clandestine operations that echo the methods once employed by MKUltra, raising questions about the extent to which intelligence agencies continue to explore the boundaries of human psychology and manipulation. The ethical debate surrounding these practices is far from settled. With the rise of new technologies, such as artificial intelligence and advanced neuroimaging, the potential for psychological operations has expanded exponentially. Governments around the world grapple with the implications of these advancements, leading to renewed discussions about the moral responsibilities of intelligence agencies. The question remains, how far should governments go in the name of national security? In light of current global events, the relevance of this discussion has become even more pronounced. The ongoing tensions between nations, the proliferation of misinformation, and the rise of cyber warfare have all contributed to a climate where psychological operations are viewed as not just possible, but necessary.